Okay, well, our question from Nitro747. Will Kuva Survival ever get scaling rewards? Will the drop tables or the AABC system ever get touched? No. So AABC came into the equation when the endless mission reward structure really became the way to get the most valuable stuff we were putting in the game, prime parts, prime keys, and everything. And now we sort of had that forever. And for a long time, we've been pitched from players, well, maybe by the time I get through it the third time, it's only C rewards or it's only B rewards. And I think like whether or not we're talking about rewards or not, the fundamental thing is rewarding longer missions. And this is typically the crux of the Onslaught conversations and everything is because it's, do you want to stay or do you want to go? And some missions you can go forever, well, for as long as you can, and some are go in and go out. So how do we figure our reward structure fits into all that at this point in time in Warframe? It's a really hard question, I know, but it's sort of one that's on everyone's mind, including the person that asked this.
It was a tough question. Sheldon and I talked briefly this week about it, more in the Onslaught vein versus the rest of the game. But we were talking about potentially adding more
letters, basically.
More letters, basically, is the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah.
That reduces the number of rewards in the tables down to the more essential things. So the deeper you go, you have a better chance of getting potentially the better stuff.
Right.
That was never implemented, and it was never thing. It was kind of a discussion. Yeah. So I don't think we really want to go down the scaling rewards route. Right. Personally, I think that has where does it end? Problems, but maybe reducing the tables a bit when you do get into those deeper parts is maybe something we should look at.
Right.
But I think that's
so it's just more precise rewards rather than scaling.
Potentially, but then it's like, well, what precision and what items are you going to make?
Right.
Like, how do you read the player's mind?
Right.
Right. And which is really hard.
Yeah, and the tricky thing for that, and I understand completely, is the pressure on endurance for being the ideal scenario when everything can be done in 20 minutes or less. And if you want to stay longer, that's totally
I still
up to
want
you.
to keep that bite-sized Warframe as the thing.
Right.
I don't want people to feel like, okay, I'm going to log into Warframe now. I'm going to commit the next 8 hours of this in order to get the things I want.
Right.
I still want the game to be, loaded up over lunch, loaded up, before your hot date, and you're going to go, 20 minutes.
To a 1950s prom.
Yep, exactly.
I think the only thing, I don't like the incentive to bail based on cycle, I think is the only reason why I can see a really strong argument for doing that refinement you're talking about. Where it feels almost like a penalty when you start looping again.
Yeah, because the tricky thing is if you stay and risk the longer rewards, there's no point because the enemies are harder and you're not getting, but obviously affinity with enemy level scales up. And that's a really interesting thing about all the efficiency and the Onslaught conversations is because the way it was with the enemy scaling problems, the way we fixed it, and then the way we're going to continue to fix it with the dev workshop, which is basically efficiency changes are going back, level scaling's changing, and what else? Spawning, of course, will be fixed. And then just focus, right? Focus is a scaling reward in that game mode, but it's the XP scaling, which is already how the game works. Because XP scales with the higher levels, so in this case, not only are you getting more affinity per kill, you're getting more focus per zone because it's scaling upward.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's obviously we're doing that, so it's not like we're not doing scaling rewards, it's just we're treating it differently than,
Focus has a pretty steep ramp, it's a very large time commitment to get deep into to focus, so I think seeing that, we've talked about this before, and I think letting players explore that system more instead of trapping it off behind a very large time wall. So this is one of the solutions. The stuff we talked in Devstream 100, which people keep reminding me about.
The soft cap.
Yeah.
But if you don't know, the cap is increasing. I'm not sure who read the dev workshop. It's going to be 250,000 flat plus.
Plus it's
5K.
5K per mastery rank.
Yes.
I think is what we committed to. We went back and forth on what that number should be. But I still want to explore the soft cap and try those things out. We just haven't really had the resources to do it. So adding a mastery rank tie-in is like a 20-minute fix versus like we're going to change it completely and add a ramp to it and that's soft, and that's a much larger restructure. So this was an easy way to allow players to get more focus. And it also, the game mode was in progress. So I personally kind of hijacked the mode and said, let's make this a good way to get focus because it's an end game system. And these are going to be end game players that are looking for this stuff.
Yep. High level folks with all their gear spec'd out.
Anyway, if you're looking forward to those changes, we are still testing them, and I don't know what we're committing to for release.
Yeah. Oh, we're not committing to anything. It's
not-
ready when it's ready. We're
It's
probably
ready
not,
when it's ready,
yeah.
and it's really being more thoroughly tested